Civil war about to erupt after racist leader doesn't get 10 things she demands whites give blacks. Black Lives Matter leader, Chanel Helm, faces social media backlash after she dropped a list of 10 things that she demands from white people. The list ranges from giving your home, money, and other things to black and brown people. If this woman is anything, it's racist, lazy, and entitled. Whenever someone posts a list that Black Lives Matter demand from white people, then it's safe to assume this is a list filled with freebies and handouts. I guess playing the system became too much for her and now she's just straight up begging people for it. Well, demanding it is more like it. Chanel Helm's list of demands for white people casually included her PayPal address as if people were really going to fork over their paychecks. Needless to say, she ain't getting a darn thing. She doesn't deserve anything that's on her list of the 10 demandments, but if she wants a swift kick in the rear, then I'm sure there's a few million people on Facebook lined up to do so. This is her list of demands from white people to black and brown people. Notice the racism in it. She's only asking from white folks. What about Asians and Hispanics? Why do they get off the hook? She's literally targeting one race and that reeks of racism. It may not be obvious to some, but I smell the hints of her hate speech from the pixels of my cheap laptop monitor. If you're white, then this is what you need to give up immediately to Chanel Helm. This is where you start laughing profusely. 1. White people, if you don't have any descendants, will your property to a black or brown family. Preferably one that lives in generational poverty. What if you live in Oregon where not many black or brown families live? What if you're a white person who moved to Thailand and still can't find any? What if you have really good friends who just happen to be white? Why are white people banned from receiving anything from their friends? Why are black and brown people entitled to belongings of someone else? There's a lot of reasons why this is a no, and no reasons why this is a yes. 2. White people, if you're inheriting property you intend to sell upon acceptance, give it to a black or brown family. You're bound to make that money in some other white privileged way. Why? Why would someone inherit a property and give it away to a stranger? And what is this white privilege nonsense? White privilege is a fake thing created by entitled people who are too lazy to work hard and move up in the world. Anyone who blames white privilege on anything has not worked hard enough in their life to get what they want. The only obstacle between you and what you want is you. Stop making white privilege excuses and be a go-getter. This woman seems more like a beggar and not a worker. 3. If you are a developer or realty owner of multifamily housing, build a sustainable complex in a black or brown blighted neighborhood and let black and brown people live in it for free. Up next, the Bernie Sanders socialist math instructor, Bernie Sanders himself. Does this woman not know anything about math, economics, or the fact that nothing is free? Can someone explain to her, like she is 5 years old, that building a sustainable apartment complex in any neighborhood cannot be done for free? It costs money to build buildings. Labor and materials cost money. And what about the sustainable part? How many neighborhoods are no longer sustainable because of the people living in them? Every neighborhood, when it was built, was designed to be sustainable. If your neighborhood is no longer sustainable, then it's because of the people who live there. Maybe the people need to clean up after themselves and start being more responsible citizens. Start taking care of your own neighborhood and you won't have to beg for someone to use taxpayer money to build you a new home. If you've already trashed your first neighborhood, then you'll probably trash the free one you're begging for. Get out of here with this nonsensical Bernie Sanders entitlement idiocy. 4. White people, if you can't afford to downsize, give up the home you own to a black or brown family. Preferably a family from generational poverty. 5. White people, if any of the people you intend to leave your property to are racist assholes, change the will, and will your property to a black or brown family. Preferably a family from generational poverty. I can see why Chanel may not be on anyone's will. She fits the description of the racist asshole. That's just my opinion. I'm not begging anyone to agree with me. Nor am I begging for your belongings. People can stop generational poverty by making education important again. Stop having kids when you're 15, stay in school, and go to college or trade school or start a business. When you're 31 years old and a kid calls you grandmother, then you know you've messed up in life. How many black and brown kids don't graduate high school because their parents and grandparents are failures? Poverty won't ever be fixed if everyone continues cutting class, has 4 kids by the time they're 22 years old, and refuse to take life seriously. 6. White people, re-budget your monthly so you can donate to black funds for land purchasing. No chance. How about black and brown families learn to budget their own money? Your Air Jordans cost $200 but you can't pay the cable bill? Your weave cost $125, but your kids don't have supplies for school? Do we see a problem yet? Budget your own money based on what's really important in life. Expensive sneakers don't mean anything when your kid can't read or write. I see so many urban parents waste money on showing off their kids, but the kids can't even read. You want to show off your child, then get them through high school without getting pregnant or getting arrested. Send them to adulthood better than yourself. 7. White people, especially white women, because this is your specialty, nosy Jenny and meddling Kathy, get a racist fired. Y'all know what the FCK they be saying. You are complicit when you ignore them. Get your boss fired cause they racist too. What the heck is y'all? This goes back to the education part. Phonetic spelling is phased out by the time we hit kindergarten and kids learn the core 200+ sight words. Y'all is not one of the words kids are taught in school. Chanel, honey, y'all need to go back to school. 8. Backing up number 7, this should be easy but all of those sheetless Klan, Nazis and other lil dick white men will all be returning to work. Get they ass fired. Call the police even, they look suspicious. Nazis are horrible people who feel way too strongly about their whiteness. Come on guys, chill out with that white supremacy stuff. You can hate people without wearing a sheet on your head like a Halloween goblin. However, how does Chanel know that a Nazi has a little DCK? The only way for Chanel to know that is for her to have experience with one or many. Did Chanel Helm hook up with a Nazi? Is she a closet white boy lover? I thought R. Kelly had some secrets in his closet, but Chanel Helm might have him beat. Chanel, when you read this, please comment your answer to this question. Have you ever slept with, kissed, or had sexual relations a white man? 9. Okay, backing up number 8, if any white person at your work, or as you enter in spaces and you overhear a white person praising the actions from yesterday, first, get a pic. Get their name and more info. Hell, find out where they work, get them fired. But certainly address them, and, if you need to, you got hands, use them. Threatening or inciting violence should be taken seriously by the law. Is it legal to threaten people or suggest that other people hit each other? This isn't about the color of one's skin, but rather the sick call for violence based on one's opinion of others. It sure sounds like Chanel Helm is very racist in this targeted hate and call for violence towards white people. And again, what about the Asians and Hispanics? Why do they get out of this for free? Is it because Chanel Helm only hates white people? 10. Commit to 2 things, fighting white supremacy where and how you can. This doesn't mean taking up knitting, unless you're making scarves for black and brown kids in need, and funding black and brown people and their work. Most people don't support white supremacy or supremacy of any kind. From what I see, walking anywhere in public, is people getting along nicely with each other. People are kind, then hold doors, they use manners, they smile at each other. Of course, this is all thrown out the window during moments of road rage in rush hour, but nonetheless, people really aren't racist like the Democrats want us to believe. This list of 10 demands for white people is actually the first truly racist thing I've encountered in a long time. Of course there's an occasional hate crime and it's dealt with by the court, but there's not really anyone who actually supports hate crimes or supremacy of any kind. Perhaps a small bunch, but there's supremacists on both ends of the extreme political spectrum. For every white supremacist who might exist, there's an equally demanding person like Chanel Helm. She probably doesn't realize this, but she is not much different than a white supremacist. She targets people and makes demands of them. That sounds very controlling and hateful. Anyone who targets a group of people based on their color is a racist. Thank you for watching this video. What do you think about this? Share this on Facebook and Twitter along with your comments.